Some people spend their entire lives trying to become successful. And then one day, they realize success didn't answer the question they were actually asking. Because achievement answers how far you can go, but purpose answers why you're going at all. Today's conversation is all about what happens after success, when comfort is no longer enough. I'm your host, Edna White, and this is Keeping It Real on Purpose. Honest conversations with authors and everyday people about moments that force them to rebuild intentionally. So today's guest is Dr. Abraham George, author of Mountains to Cross: Finding Life's Purpose in Service. After achieving global success in an international business and finance, Dr. George made a life altering decision, walking away from comfort to dedicate his life to children born into extreme poverty through the creation of Shanti Bhavan, a residential school transforming generations. Dr. George, welcome to Keeping It Real on Purpose.
Oh, thank you, Edna. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. So, Dr. George, let's get back to your success before the school, before the mission. You had a near fatal accident at age 18 in the Himalayas. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, sure. Can I go back a little bit before that
Okay.
accident so people have a context? At 14, I joined a military academy like the West Point in America, and went through 4 years of training to become an officer in the artillery. And the first posting was to the Himalayas, to a mountain pass called Sela Pass. That is
Uh-huh.
14,000 feet above sea level, pretty high, and minus degree temperatures, snow covered, and shortage of oxygen, a lot of problems.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
when you're 18, those things don't
You don't
really.
think about those things, no.
Yeah, but I was one of the first people to be stationed there. It was soon after the Chinese war with
Hmm.
China, and India was trying to defend itself, moved up its troops to the mountain pass, which nobody used to go there. And I was given the responsibility of establishing gun positions, so, platform for the guns, underground bunkers, and so on. So I had a number of troops with me, soldiers with me, and we were digging and blowing up the mountain. And I used to joke that we are moving the Himalayas.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, all day, the sound of the blast. But anyway, at the end of 11 months, I made a mistake. Um, that is because the fuse wire they supply for burning, igniting the dynamite, and finally it gets to uh, a, to the gun cotton, and
Okay.
and that wire was not in supply. So I started cutting it shorter and shorter, and finally it came down to 3 inches. That gives only 5 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Uh, and I didn't want the soldiers to use it. I said I will do it. They didn't want me
Okay.
to, but I decided that I should do it. And first couple of days it went well. I light it, I see it, and I turn around and quickly get behind a nearby large rock, and uh,
Right.
and it blasts and it flies over my head. But this time, I don't know whether I was careless or not. It lighted, and I didn't know um, that it had lighted. And suddenly, I noticed that it was almost there. In
Wow.
that 2 3 seconds, I turned and jumped, but it was a little too late. Um, uh, and I was, showered with piercing rocks,
Wow.
and um, I, and they carried me into a jeep and took me to the field hospital, which is
Right.
several thousand feet below. That is where that was a turning point in my life, and I said,
Right.
must be some reason why I escaped.
Yeah.
And I thought of the idea that I should devote my life to service, and I thought of that as my purpose in life.
Mhm.
And I read a couple of books which also had an impact on me. One was by the Nobel, laureate. Uh, 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 what's his name? Albert Schweitzer. He's a German doctor,
Mhm.
traveled in a canoe all the way to the Central Africa and establish a hospital. It's clinic actually turned into a hospital later on. He was
Right.
living among the tribals and in the jungle, and he after many years of service he won the Nobel Prize. And then the
Right.
other is veteran Russell, who wrote the book, The Philosophy of. I mean, sorry, the uh, the, what is it? Western philosophy or Western philosophy.
Mhm.
And in that, he wrote a line: "There is nothing right about a war. It's about who is left." And I said,
Wow.
"Right and left." Very very nice use of those words.
Mhm.
And then I asked myself, why am I training myself to kill people? That's not something I want to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying military profession is not a noble profession. You have to, because somebody has to defend the country. But I felt that was not my calling, and I decided that I'll leave. And when I got injured, um, I recovered, and soon after, a couple of years after, I got a discharge and came to America.
Okay.
That's the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah. That sounds so. Um, I always call it like that aha moment for all of us. Like you know how like we're like this egg, and then all of a sudden we're bored to death, like be just being a regular egg. Then all of a sudden we get a little crack right in the
Right,
shell,
right,
and everything is different. Everything is different from that moment. Everything is different, and that's
right.
so amazing that you thought about service. Now, what came to mind when you were talking, and I talked to so many people. I think this is almost 250 people already on my podcast. And they
Yes.
always talk about service. But one thing we don't talk about is I believe in true provision. So if you're doing something that you love and that's your purpose to do, true provision happens. Most don't believe that, they're always saying, I'm struggling to stay alive, financially. What happened in your epiphany or awakeness in service where you provided for?
Well, um, I came to America. They took some time.
Mm-hmm.
I, I worked a couple of years at JP Morgan. I went to school at graduate studies at New York University, Graduate School of Business, uh, for 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
And I got a job at JP Morgan. And then I got some ideas about what I could do to make good money. My goal was to
Okay.
make money. Please don't think I went into service right away. I did.
Right.
I,
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I, I had
Okay.
I had to make money first. And
Okay. All right.
young
So
people
there was
come
a
to
plan. There was a plan in place. Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
when young people come to me and ask me, tell me that they would like to do what I'm doing, I said, no, 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 you first go and make money and then talk about it.
Okay.
So
That
nobody's
makes
going to listen
sense.
to you. Nobody's going to listen to you. And it took me 25 years of struggle
Okay.
with my
Right.
own company,
Right.
and it's the field of international finance and computer technology and application computers. And at the end of 25 years, I thought I had made enough money to get going, and I can't wait any longer. And that's when I sold my business. I left everything behind and went to a remote village in
Okay.
India, South India.
Right.
That's the beginning.
Right. So, so you did you? So you're telling me you did not hesitate. You worked a little bit first. You know, you
Yeah.
to make money, and then sold your business, which was very lucrative, a thriving global business, right?
Right. I had to make
Mhm.
money. Otherwise, what do I do?
Right. 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 So that makes sense. You're able to give back if you have, right? If you
Right,
have,
right,
you can give to service. If you don't have anything, you can't give to service
right,
properly.
right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
if you
makes
want to
sense.
do something that you want to do, if you want to work somewhere as, assisting something, maybe, you can earn a small salary. In the NGO world,
Right.
the salaries are very low. That's a different path. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to join
Right.
someone who's already doing. But in my case, I had some ideas during my graduate studies, that um, you know, directed me to uh, creating a non-governmental organization, NGO, and
Right.
which was to deal with poverty and social discrimination. In India, you have uh, discrimination based on color, race, and so on. I mean,
Hmm.
in America, but in India, it's based on caste. Caste
Right.
means you're
Yeah.
born into a segment of the society that's considered so untouchable
Right.
and so on.
Right.
And this has been going on for 1,500 years. It's nothing new.
Wow.
And
Mm.
how do you get people out of it? It has not changed. And I came to the conclusion that the best way, the you can hand out money or feed people, but that's not going to change. You have to
Right.
empower
Right.
the deprived. You have to empower
Right.
them to succeed, and then they break out, rather than waiting from the top down to hand out something.
Right. Right. Right.
Oh, I couldn't think of anything better than an excellent education.
Yeah.
Education is the key, the
Yeah.
path to prosperity and breaking
That's
the
it.
disadvantage
Yeah.
to caused by caste.
That's it. I believe the same thing. I think education, the mindset, where you are, where you are, educating the mindset and your emotional wellness is so important to move you forward. Because if you're still thinking the same way, right? Still
Right,
thinking the same way, you're still going to stay in the same, the
right.
same way,
Yeah,
same patterns.
don't wait for somebody to treat you nicely.
And yeah, don't wait.
Nobody's going to
Don't-
do that. Yeah.
yes, yes. And you got to do it first to yourself. So
Yeah,
that's the best thing.
human beings, as I see it, human beings sort of oppress other people
Yeah.
whom they
Yes.
can.
Yes.
Unless you're powerful enough, or
Yeah.
you're educated, you have a good job, then they can't. They have to respect you.
Right. Yes. So you didn't hesitate, right? When you made this, when you walked away from the security of here and your fulfilling career to India, and what emotional cost came with that decision? Did you have any kind
Right.
of emotional
Well,
things going on?
very intuitive question. I have been planning to do this for 25 or 30 years. So this was nothing new for me. I was waiting for the best opportunity. So the
Gotcha.
emotional aspect was only that I was leaving my wife and my two young sons behind. I'll be gone for months at a time,
Hmm.
and how will they manage, those type of worries. uh, but other than that, I was prepared. I was
Right.
prepared to do what I had, just that I didn't know exactly what uh, lay ahead,
Right.
because I've not been to that part of the world. I was in a remote village. I didn't speak their language. I was in the midst of very, very poor people who didn't trust anyone coming, especially from America. What are they
Yes.
come here for?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
People
I
talk
got
about
you.
they come to take their body parts or kidnap their kids, all kinds of rumors.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. I got it.
so
Yeah,
it is.
that's a feeling. That's a real concern and a feeling that you have to process.
Right, right. It's not like they're all falling for you. They
Right.
don't trust you. You have to earn the
Right.
trust, and it takes years. And
It
then they realize
does.
that you mean what you're saying. You have no other agenda. You want to improve their lives. Then they ask questions. Why does this guy come all the way from America to do this? What is going on? Did
Yeah,
they send?
right. Yeah. What is he doing there? What is he doing back? Like
Yeah,
what is he up to?
yeah. Did they push him out of America? What is the reason?
Yes. All these questions, right? All these
Right, right,
questions. Yeah, many people want purpose and they want, they want change, but like you said, they have to trust you. Like, and I know in my same position in coaching, people have to trust you.
right,
Um, but they don't want to be uncomfortable. But
right,
that comes with choosing a change. With when you teach what you teach, that comes with the change. Did
right.
success ever become a distraction from meaning for you?
Well, I had during those 25 years, the last 10 years of those
Okay.
25 years, I was living in sort of luxury. I had succeeded. I was making good money. I had built a beautiful home and everything that, American
Okay.
dream, American dream was what I was chasing. And I was, I was, I was doing well. And,
Yeah.
but then came a point at the end of those 10 years, didn't, what do I do next?
Right.
Making money, more money was not my purpose anymore.
Right.
I had to find satisfaction. And the satisfaction was going to come from a purposeful
Right.
act. And that is you have the love of people you serve and you do
Yeah.
something good for them, you see it in their eyes, you you feel that you're making a difference to their lives. Those are the kind of things that are going to bring you joy. I can eat only so much. I can I can lie on the beach side. What else do I do
Yes.
with the money,
Yeah. That's
And
right. You're so right. You're
that's
right.
what it was. So I
Yes.
was sort of prepared mentally to
Yeah.
embark on what
And
I
you
was
were ready. You were ready. You were like, it's enough of that. Enough of
doing.
that.
Right.
Yeah, because we see that so many celebrities and mainly some rich people, they get to a point even like, okay, now what do I do? Instead of saying what do I do like you and transition to something different, they they trans they get out of here. They either, they're dying, they're on drugs or medication, or they kill themselves. But you transitioned that hey, I need to change. I can only make so much money, right?
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, change is sometimes a little scary.
yeah, it is.
You
It
leave your
is.
comfort of your home, your surroundings, and go to some
Yes.
strange place. You don't know what's going to happen to you.
Right. Right.
You don't know those people. It can be a little nerve-wracking.
Right. Right.
But you have to be brave about it, and you have to say to yourself, "I am going to do something for them," and they are going to realize that at some point that. You're there to serve them. You're not there for fame
Mhm.
or glory or reward,
Right.
nothing of
Right.
that kind. And you're going to be with them, treat them as equals.
Right.
When they see
Right.
that you're jovial, you're with them, have fun with them,
Hmm.
and you understand them, then you win them over. That's when the trust happens.
Yeah, that's good. Do you believe people hide inside their careers to avoid deeper questions about their life?
I hear from my friends who have been in Wall Street, hedge fund managers, and so on. They tell me that they have made lots of money. They don't know what to do now. They can keep on making money. Making more money is the purpose.
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
Right.
Previously it was millions. $1 million was good enough, and then few million. Now everybody is talking about $1 billion. This has
Right.
become so absurd. And what do you do with that?
Right.
So they are asking me, how did you do it? How do I go about doing it? And then they're
Right.
scared. They are
Right.
very
Okay.
comfortable with financial instruments and things like that. which are all computers. They don't have to see any human beings. That they are very comfortable. But going to a remote place in
Right.
Africa or India or somewhere and living with these poor people and serving them and winning them over, that's a different cup of tea. And
Yes.
you have to have the courage. And the
Yeah.
fact is, anyone can do it.
Right.
You just have to be honest. You have to treat people with dignity. You have to
Hmm.
love them. If they're children, especially, you have to love them. Then you win their hearts.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. What mindset do you see repeatedly in successful people who still feel empty?
They are not at ease. They're still, most of them are worried all the time, um,
Yeah.
uh, because they want more success, more money, their business deals. They're worried about the next business deal coming through or falling apart.
Yeah.
Invested this money, invested that money. It goes on forever. Every day they wake up and next strategy, financial strategy,
Right.
and you can spend your whole life doing that. And
Yes.
maybe there's some excitement in it, but
Yes.
I was in that
Absolutely.
world for a while. I don't think it's going to get you the satisfaction I have. I'm one of the happiest people on this planet today.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
well. I'm second. Okay, I'm second. I am second. I am second.
I have
Yeah, I
small
love.
children.
Happiness is the is. I mean, inside of you, just being happy within yourself, and I see that with you.
Right. I am with small children from the age of 4. That's where I take the children at the age of 4. And
Wow.
they're with me all the way until they're 18. 14 years, 15 years, they're with me. Actually, 17 years they're with me until they have a job. And I see them through. Everything is free. They
Hmm.
live with me for 10 months in a year, 2 months they go home. So they suddenly become my children.
Right.
They
Right.
themselves see me as their
Right.
dad.
Right.
I differentiate between dad and father. I'm not a biological father.
Hmm.
Someone who has taken on the responsibility of bringing them up. So they call me dad sometimes, and that's fine. And I love being there with them. Uh,
That's good.
yeah, they are so affectionate, and
That's great.
that's the joy that I have.
That's a privilege. Yeah, it's such a privilege. That's beautiful. So, why education instead of charity relief?
Yeah, you can. There's nothing wrong in offering medical services, for example,
Hmm.
or taking care of HIV patients, HIV/AIDS patients, or people who are mentally, you know, in some way disadvantaged. All those things are noble things to do, but I didn't have knowledge about any of those things.
Right.
Though I
Gotcha.
started a hospital there for poor people, I started a farm to give employment
Hmm.
to women in the villages. I did a number of things. I even got into cleaning up the air, lead poisoning in India. India became
Right.
unleaded gasoline was introduced with following 4 years of testing and everything else we did. We don't have time to talk about all those things, but back to bringing up children, I found great joy in being with the children
Right.
and guiding them and motivating them and seeing their success. And I don't know whether you're aware uh, that the graduates after 18 years they are working in companies like Microsoft and ExxonMobil and others, and
Wow.
20 of them are in America, many of them in Ivy League like Stanford. Stanford is not Ivy, but it's among the top. Harvard, MIT,
Yeah.
Duke, Dartmouth, all these
Right.
places,
That's
they got
beautiful.
admission on merit from
Hmm.
a single room hut which doesn't even have a toilet or a kitchen. From that
Hmm.
environment, they are in these great colleges in America.
Right.
Something happened in between, and that is what I try to do.
Right. That's beautiful. You are the in between. I like that. What makes Shanti Bevan? I'm going to stay on your philanthropy right now. Different from traditional philanthropy.
That's a good question. See, most schools are day schools. In other words, you come early morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and you leave by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, right? And the responsibility is back on parents to motivate the children and do things.
Mm-hmm.
Schools are mostly for education in the sense of their intellectual development and all the subjects they have to learn. But here the children are with me. I'm my responsibility. So I have several aspects of their personality. One is, of course, the quality of the education and how well they do, so they get admission to good colleges and good companies. That is given, without which nothing is going to happen. The
Right.
second is leadership, interpersonal communication, and ability to socialize in any environment,
Right.
self confidence, self esteem. That's another component which I have to work on.
Right.
And the third one is a little more difficult, which there's
Mm-hmm.
no real formula, and that is how do you turn them into people with good values, good human beings, as they say. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
not
good.
talking about humane values. I'm not talking about being a good public speaker or something. That's in the second aspect. Third, how do you turn someone into a generous or a humble or an honest or caring?
Right. Right.
Those kinds of qualities that make a person human,
Right.
and that's a little tricky business, and that is only possible if you and all the staff you have. I have 175 staff working with me, and
Wow.
they all have to behave the same way. If they don't behave correctly, they treat the children poorly.
Right.
If they
Right.
lie, they
Right.
lie, they are arrogant, they are not humble, then the children are not going to change. So my real challenge is not the children, it's the staff. How do you how do you turn them into how do you turn them into good people themselves?
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to say the same thing about my team. I will say the same thing about how do you, I also I work with children, but not all children. I work with children and families.
Okay,
So
okay,
I'm like, how do I turn my team into that because they're coming to help me? How do
right,
I
right,
turn them into what I want the people that I'm speaking to or teaching to that?
right.
So
Yeah, they
that is
have
a
to
challenge. I didn't think about that. That's a good one. It's
they
a good
have to
one.
be loyal to you. They
Right.
have to be caring. They have to be devoted. They have to be
Yes.
committed.
Yes.
There's so many aspects to that human element.
Yes. That's good. How did the children re reshape your understanding of a family now?
Okay. We want the children to be connected to their family, no matter how poor they are. And
Hmm.
their what we try to we send them for 2 months so they know how their families are in that hut. So they never forget it. And they have to treat their parents with respect. Though these children are now very sophisticated, they have read everything, and lot they're very different.
Yes.
There are two worlds they live in, but
Yes.
we emphasize to them when you go home, uh,
Yeah.
clean up things, broom the floor, help your mom with cooking, wash clothes, do everything that you should do. Don't act like a big shot,
Yeah.
and and you should have inside you that drive to transform the family, and
Yeah.
they do. Every one of those kids got a job who's got a job. The first thing they do is to fix up the house or build a new house for their parents, um, make sure that the family gets enough food, put them on medical insurance, buy clothing, and get their sisters married. They have to pay a dowry in India. Dowry system still
Yeah. Yeah.
exists. Girls can't get married without paying money. what to do. And so all these things that become their responsibility
Yeah.
for the whole family. They become the family,
Yes.
the family, and
Yes.
so they are very connected. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell them, you do all these things and set it all right in the first 3 years, and then
Mm-hmm.
reach out to your community, and then reach out to the rest of the world. Wherever there
Mm-hmm.
is a need, wherever you feel people need your help, you help them. Hopefully, they would make good money if they go to Harvard and few other places. I'm pretty sure they'll make good money, and they can afford to do that. But
Yes.
if they live a luxurious life and waste their money, I'll be a very disappointed man, because they are
Mm-hmm.
beneficiaries of other people's kindness. They got to where they are by the help of other people. And if they forget it and try to just simply care for themselves only, then
Mm.
it's no good.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. So let's go over to your personal journey now, with this philanthropy and how you changed. Your mother was a very strong influence on your mission. What values from her still guide your decisions today?
Very major part. Mine is more of a matriarchal family. My father was really not the dominant figure. My mother was. She studied physics. She was the second woman in India to get a PhD in physics.
Wow.
Second woman in India, and she
Wow.
worked for NASA, National Bureau of Standards in Washington D.C. Taught at NYU and so many things. She came at an early age of 40 to America and
Wow.
alone and made it. She was a dynamic figure. She let us be ourselves. She let us go and play, make friends, do all things, but we have to do the right thing. We cannot do
Yeah.
anything that is not
Right.
correct. So freedom was given to us, and my mother's role was being a friend more than a mother, um, and she always encouraged everything I did. If she didn't agree with it, she would tell me, but otherwise, whenever I was down, she said, "No, no, no, you will succeed. Work harder, do this or do that." Um, so she had a very profound impact on me.
Mm-hmm.
And up to the very last day, until her deathbed, in the deathbed, I was talking to her in the middle of the night, so
Yeah. Yeah. And after everything you've accomplished, how do you define success now?
my definition of success is how I'm able to fulfill my mission of serving people. How many uh, people are impacted by me in a correct way, not in just feeding something or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They have to transform their lives, their families.
Right.
They come out of poverty. They're able to take care of their homes, their
Mm-hmm.
parents, their siblings, and then they are able to do good to other people. Ultimate is if they are really successful, they have the heart to reach out to other people, strangers in need, not their own blood, strangers
Right.
in. And if they do that, then I call myself successful. And for
Wow.
that, I
Good.
talk to them constantly, constantly. Nobody is testing your blood to see your blood, relation. That's all nonsense.
Well, we hope not.
You're married to some guy or a girl
Yeah.
whose blood is different. So why are you talking about blood?
Right. That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. So we're at the part where it's the rapid finish. So you're going to finish the sentence, that I'm going to give you, and you fill in the blank. Okay, Dr. George, you
Okay.
ready?
Oh
All
boy.
right.
Okay.
Purpose begins when.
Purpose begins when you decide and plan on an action to help someone else, and you
Good.
contribute to their well-being, not yours.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good. People delay helping because
Most of the people they help him because they want to make a little more money, and that money chasing never ends, or because they are afraid to do something they are not familiar with, um, and they are quite comfortable in their comfort zone.
yeah, that's good. Real compassion requires
Action, being
oh, that's
compassionate,
good.
being empathetic. They don't do anything to the other person. You can feel good
That's
about
good.
the fact that you are a compassionate guy, but what has it done for the other person unless you act on
Right.
it?
Oh, that's
So
good. That's
compassion
good.
in action
That's
is
really
what
good.
matters.
That's really good. Last one. A meaningful life includes
Meaningful life includes taking care of your family, and helping those who need your help, those who are suffering. And there are, believe me, there's so many people who are suffering. I just want to give you a statistics. Top 10% of the world population own approximately 75% of the world's wealth. The bottom 50% of the world's population own less than 3% of the world's wealth. Look at the disparity. Others fall in between. And so that 50% is going on with a very hard
wow.
life. And you
Right.
can make it better. So the top 10% would give 10% of their wealth, 10% of their income. Keep 90 for
Yeah.
yourself. The bottom 50 will not be where they are. They will be quite comfortable.
Yes. Okay. So, how can the audience either donate or read about or know about your what you do and be a part of it?
Right. People like me or those who are in this service industry, I made money and then I lost money sometime during the 2007, 2009, recession time. I mean, meltdown or financial meltdown. And since then, I've been relying on donation. The first 15 years or so, I was able to do it myself. So now donations will make a difference. And people can find our organization, Shanti Bhavan. Uh, just Google my name, Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, and you will find my name. So it's not very difficult. And you can find my website.
You
You
can
can
find them. Yes, you can find him. That's right.
Maybe my parents planned this, to give me this name, and so I
That's
have
beautiful.
easy way of finding me. I don't want to give anybody a website because you can find by googling my name. Um,
Yes.
and I wrote a book called Mountains to Cross, which was published last month, and it has already become a bestseller, Amazon bestseller. Um USA Today bestseller, and also Reader's Weekly Digest bestseller. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
bestseller, and I think if you are looking for inspiration, wanting to do some service for others, how you can do it, what
Hmm.
obstacles you are likely to confront, how do you overcome them, how do you have the inner courage, I urge you to take a look at it. Uh, Whatever royalty that comes to me will be going to the welfare of the children, nothing for myself I am looking for. So
Okay.
if the readers make small contribution, big contribution, doesn't matter as long as
Right.
you reach out and give a little bit of your heart.
Okay. So, last thing for the persons listening who feels they've achieved stability but not fulfillment, where should they start, Dr. George?
They should start reasonably early enough. Small things, very small things. Maybe once a year, supply some books or some clothing. You just give it enough money or buy the clothes or something. Those who are at the bottom, I mean, bottom means those who don't have a lot of means. But then later on, you sponsor one child, and it's a couple of $1,000s a year will take care of one
Okay.
child. then maybe 10. Then finally, you have lots of money, you help build a building or something, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it all depends where you are in that process of being financially successful. But it doesn't matter, small or big. Uh, Help according to your means.
That's beautiful. So if this conversation stirred you, audience, if it got you excited about doing something or being part of something bigger than yourself, don't ignore it. That's usually the signal that your next chapter is asking you to participate. You can learn more about Dr. Abraham George and his mission at drabrahamgeorge.com. This
That's
is
right.
Keeping It Real on Purpose.
drabrahamgeorge.com.
Yes, DR. Okay, I forgot to say that. That's right. drabrahamgeorge.com. Okay? I missed that. I messed that up. Okay, this is Keeping It Real on Purpose. I'm your host, Edna White, where real stories, real reflection, and real direction. I'll see you next episode. If you want this episode and you're healing, go on ednawhite.com. See you next time around. Bye for now.
Thank you, Edna.